Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Chip's Karate Clips for another episode of Review and Critique. So before we get started, we're going to talk about the things that we wanted to improve since our last tournament, which was the Scenic City Open. This was now the Battle of Nashville. It took place April 11th. It was hosted by Chris White and EMAC. Give them a huge shout out. Awesome tournament. Had an awesome time. A lot of fun. Yeah, so if you haven't heard of those guys, go check them out. EMAC, Chris White, awesome karate stuff, awesome karate content. Other than that, we'll jump into it. Our goals for the Scenic City Open was to eliminate the step up, get more distance on our pulling kicks, finish the blitz, dynamic movement, and stronger kicks. Because if I don't know if you guys recall, last time I had a couple of really floppy spin kicks, and there's plenty of those. There's plenty of those in this one, to the point that somebody said, "Hey, maybe too many spin kicks," and we'll get into why I did so many. So, as you know, we do the compliment sandwich, something we like, something that could be improved. Not that it's bad, but it just could be improved. Good but great is what I like. Good but could be great. It's a palindrome. We make it an acronym, and I like that. So it's good, but it could be great. And then we finish up with something that they're already excellent at. There's a lot of compliments on this one. Let me open my notes real quick because Mr. Cory Link, excellent fighter. Marty Eubanks puts out world class competitors. You know, he's just a great instructor. He's a great guy. You haven't seen Marty Eubanks in his prime, YouTube, dude. And Marty Banks now he's just an awesome dude. Put on that awesome tournament of champions. So, big shout out to Marty and his crew because this was the first time I was invited to be part of an advanced exhibition. I was very honored. Felt really good because that's where I want to be. That's where I'll be at the end of the year is towards the advanced division. So it's nice to kind of dip my toes in the water now, get used to it, get ready for it. But yeah, like I said, we got plenty of notes, we got plenty of compliments, Mr. Link. You killed it. Uh, so let's get into it. Watch it once, and then we'll run it back and go over. You're gonna see me pop up the timeline every once in a while, just because I'm making notes, things that I do like to see, did not like to see. It was EMAC just put out their pictures from the event as well, and let me tell you, it was just I got two faces. I'm ready for anything, which is something like this, and then instant enlightenment, what I like to call it, is when I get hit and like a cat getting sprayed with a bottle. Those are my two faces. I'm never calm. I may be insane. These fights go so fast; it's hard to keep up. I'm not like one of the stenographers from court cases and stuff. The court cases from court. Need to incorporate more fakes. I'll just tell you that now. I didn't see any fakes until towards the end. It was just more, which is ironic. This is coming to the end. Make note of that. All right, so dude, what a fight! Like I said, I got some timestamps on things that I want to address, and I got the notes that I have already. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna let this play in the background. I'm probably gonna drop the volume just slightly, so we can talk about it and go over the things while it's happening. So you guys aren't just like sitting here staring at the promo. Here we go. So I almost hit the wrong button. All right, here we go. All right, so literally right off the bat, we'll talk about the things that I wanted to do well compared to last. I wanted to eliminate the step up. There was a couple of step ups right there. But we also did move more dynamically throughout the match. As you see, there's a lot of offcuts, front and back, getting off that line, not going backwards, because that's where we get trapped. I did not feel trapped in this fight. However, there are some times here in about 20 seconds where I do not do a D side when I need to. So you'll see it. You'll hear Sensei Joe be like, hey, D side. I'm like, yes. I don't know why. Literally, anytime you see me look over my shoulder, that's just me saying yes, sir, because I'm trying to be more coachable. And I definitely want to hear what they're saying. They know what they're doing. That's why they're there. Wanted to get more distance on those pulling kicks, which I did. I was happy with that, the progress today. I still want to go further. I want to take it as far as I can. If I could clear the entire mat with my pulling side kicks just for funsies, like that'll keep them real honest. That'll keep them real interesting. And I'd like to get that even further. So finish the blitz, both hands. Every time Sensei Joe is like coaching in the background, I hear both hands and I'm like, he's right. I don't know what I'm doing. There's one hand right there. If I would have came through with that reverse punch, could have got him. So finish the blitz. I did move forward, however. I just did one hand, back fist, or a reverse punch. Never reverse punch, overhand, like nothing more. Dynamic movement, which we had mentioned, and strong kicks. There was a lot of spins here. And the reason for that is because Mr. Link had an excellent ridge hand, and I had no knowledge of how to counter it. I got stuff now. Talked to Sensei about it. I was like, he was catching me every time with it. What do I do? Because once you're going forward like that, right, there's another ridge. Once you're going forward like that and your leg drops, that's just sending them air mail to your face, like with their fist or foot, and I don't want either of that. So I had no idea how to get away from that ridge hand. So I figured if I keep my face away from his hand, he can't reach me. So I just went with more spins. So luckily, they were stronger spins than Scenic City Open. I didn't have as much floppy knee on the spin kick. However, some of the side rounds pulling, they could be improved on. Pull up my notes again. Things that I needed to do better. Use both hands on the follow-up. We just mentioned better shield coming out of a kick and into a blitz. I wrote that before I talked to Sensei Kevin about what I need to do. So that's going to be more of a, I'm going to have to add a hesitation. I got to do more breaking and soft faking. I set up these things over time throughout the match. Just that 2 minutes is very short, but data points are data points. And I don't add enough to give variation. I have the variation, I have the tools, but I need to drive them, use them a little better to set up things better. So that's another one. Be more aware of other spin kicks, because one point that I really need to work on is stop calling points. If you're in, and I'm talking about like me as a competitor, I'm that Southern gentleman, you kick me and I'm like, yeah, dude, that was it, you got it, I'm not gonna, and that's just literally inviting, because if the refs don't call it, it's not there. It's not your call. It's not for you. It's for a coach to deliberate or, arbitrate. So I need to understand as the competitor on the mat. I already don't think about the score while I'm on there. There's much more important things like a heel to my dome. I don't want that. So I don't really think about the score, but I do stop when people hit me. Even if it doesn't get called, I need to stop that. It's not my thing, So one thing I need to work on is stop calling points. Be more aware of the following ridge hand. That's what I was talking about. I'm going to have to add that hesitation, because I set up these things and I can use that spin, but he was timing it to the point that he was, boom. Look at that. He had such a strong check and he had a very strong ridge hand. I'm going to be posting those pictures of the tournament later from EMAC. Once again, thank you, EMAC. I'm going to post those and you'll see very much smacked in the face with many of those ridge hands. And things that are good but could be better, or could be great. Good but could be great. Improved distance on side kicks. I mentioned I want to go even further. I want to cross the world in 80 side kicks if I could. Need to be better on checking kicks. Okay, I need to have my chamber up higher. The higher I can have my chamber, the better I have a chance of scoring. Why? Nobody can get past the high chamber. What are they gonna do? Kick you in the leg? Can't do that. So get that thing up there. Get that thing up there. Even further, holding it up longer. Need to be better in checking kicks. Improved substantially. Oh, I have. My slide kicks have improved substantially since my first sparring, and I'm so very happy. But I do need to get better at timing when to come in off a side kick or setting up more of the soft fakes with a kick so I can open up things up top. Change levels. That's all we need to do. See, I went for 2 side kicks that were low side kicks, and then followed up with a low spinning kick, and then hit him with the back fist. Just that change level. He got me with that one. Yeah, and then higher chambers on all of my kicks, whether defensive or offensive. Because, like I said, there's multiple times you can see here that I could have done it better. There's that ridge. Now he missed. He missed the check on that one, but he still came in with that ridge. Things Cory did well. Let me tell you, like 99% of it. Excellent use of spin kicks, both offensively and defensively. In the beginning of this fight, you see one that he doesn't get called, but you see me stand up and be like, "That was good." Like yeah, you know. So awesome. And he was able to use his rear leg to offensively and he had a lot of pushback without eliminating variation. So the things that he used really well. Those spins, that ridge hand. Oh, that one. Like I said, it changed my fighting style a little bit because I didn't know how to deal with it. Now I do. We'll see you next time, Mr. Link. Let's see. Body positioning and planning. He was always right where he needed to be to set up that ridge hand. You can hear Marty in the background, who's coaching him a little bit, saying, "Hey, jam it. Get outside of it. Move. Come in." And what are you waiting for is my favorite because he was right. I was listening to it as well, like on the mat, because I didn't know what to do with it. So, and if he would have came in instantly, like he was being coached to do, it would have been very effective. Not that it wasn't already. Good, but could be great. Timing the step in and the ridge off the ridge hand off the offcut. What we just talked about. Like he was already good at it, but it could be phenomenal. I would have just eaten ridges left and right. We would have been like just in the mountains at that point. Hide the stance switch. So when you get towards the end and he really starts hammering in those ridge hands, you'll see that he switches his stance, but he does it statically. So he stands in spot, switch, and then I come in during, or if we're not fighting, I'll come in during that switch stance because, anytime you're in the air is not a time that you're going to be throwing a kick, like not without it being planned first. So if he could hide that switch, like the stance switch in dynamic movement, add a couple of soft fakes, soft fake, hard cut, off cut, and then in one of those cuts, just kind of, get closer, switch that stance without making it too obvious, and bam, you're just ready for that ridge. And he would have just wiped the floor with me. Yeah, so that was the review. Listen, Mr. Link, awesome. Thank you again for inviting me to be your exhibition match. All the guys over there loved it. EMAC, thank you. Things that I want to improve on going forward. Just to recap it and end it as it goes off. I need to be able to move further, use both hands in the follow-up, better shields coming out of kicks, add more hesitation, break more patterns. I do all of that work to set it up in the beginning and then use none of the extra effort, right? Like I just struggle with the then I just keep reverting back to the same things, and I need more pattern breakage. I need more variance. Like I said, I have the tools. Like I left them in the truck. Can't do that. Got to bring them all in. So be more aware of spin kicks because spin kicks are super effective. They cover distance. They can add dynamic. They can throw people back. They can bring people closer. You can do a lot with spin kicks. That's why I like to use them. but I need to be more aware of other people using them too. There's so much going on. You're just in the moment looking around and, trying to gather as much information as possible. Sometimes you miss things. I don't want to do that. I'd like to be more aware of those spin kicks. And then, like I said, aware of a following ridge hand, maybe even adding a ridge hand. I've been working on the ridge hand, but here's the thing: you've ever been kicked in the ribs during a point sparring match? You just know that sometimes checking that kick is very scary. It's very scary, but we got to man up and then go to the barbecue every now and then. Let them know ribs on me. That's how we learn. That's how we get better. Slowly and sometimes in pain, but we do it. We do it. So yeah, that'll do it for me. Thank you guys for coming out. That was the Battle of Nashville, like I said, April 11th, 2026. If you are thinking about getting into karate, thinking about getting into a martial art, thinking about getting into a dojo, to a gym, please do it. You'll be better for it. It's a fun time. Find a good community. It's such an uplifting area. Like it's just everybody's here to make each other better, and that's what we need in the world. So please, if you're thinking about it, if you're wondering, should I join? Am I too old? Am I too young? Listen, 3 years old to 300 years old. I started at 30 a year ago. I'm now 31, and this is the progress that I made. And listen, you can teach old dogs new tricks, so don't be afraid. Please, I've seen competitors that are 80 years old, competing still, doing forms. There's things. Don't be afraid. Hardest belt to get is the white belt because it's the first step in an awesome journey. So please, don't be afraid to join a gym, join a dojo, get involved, join the community, please. Like I said, that's all I got for you. Thanks for coming out. Chips Karate Clips. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I shall see you on the next one.